is able to play in this game.
Wang absolutely zooming down the pitch to try and intercept the first pass. Initially a slightly poachy look, but everyone matching up now. That's Courtil on disc, dumps back to Langlois, swings to Bardin, and that's a lovely deep shot going, and a beautiful layout from Yann Courtil, and that is one apiece. So big pull from Goliard is going to float for a while. And again, I'm loving this Jets intensity in chasing down the pull, but man down, working it upfield. Cutters filtering through, across fakes, finds Tulchin. And that's a very nice inside for a score.
I mean...
Oh, no, there's a pick call.
He was, I was going to say, suspiciously open.
Yeah, it's just Lebonge has a penchant for wandering beyond the sidelines. That seems to be happy with all parties. So Schaff back on disc, taps the disc in, and immediately dishes it off to Smith. Well fielded, it was a little bit behind him. And that's a beautiful shot across the field to Matt Schaff.
Yeah, it scythes and it bisects the defence. I love, I'm an Abri, so we can just get that little pop in there to get the offence moving.
So man down with a slight advantage here. And Jets in a horizontal setup. Oh, wow, incredible bid. And it's clean. So man down have a chance for a break and to extend their lead.
Brilliant play that from Lebonge.
He's been a really, really key player for this man down side on both sides of the disc. So Stewart, not a lot of options upfield. And, oh, I thought I had pit call, but I'm hearing things. Pletcher on the sideline. Looks for his dump. Finds. And they're knocking on the door of the end zone now. Stewart fakes the inside, dumps back to Pletcher. Very calm from this man down side, and there is the oh gosh!
Just about.
On the second time of asking, between the knees, that is Adam Schwartz. Very much so. So we've got Seal, who's got a snood over most of his face, and that's a cracking pull, but it's not going to roll out of bounds, so Jets trapped quite far back in their own end zone. There's no force, so using that extra player to just really make the options difficult. But he finds Mallet. Rabet's on disc, finds Goliard. There's a deep cut developing, doesn't fancy it, he's looking for a swing. And that's nice movement from Rabet to get open. On the far sideline now, flings to Goliard. Rabet again. Really beautiful, using the width of the pitch. Oh, fakes the round. Goliard in the middle of the pitch. Staring towards the end zone. Not a lot of movement. There's Rabet again. Oh, and that's a very high disc, and it's just snatched out of the air. Slight collision between Wang and Goliard, but no call.
And there's no one on the force that clearly they're doing the idea of we'll take the deepest players first and then fill forward. But they can't seem to find a way to bounce that give-go to really utilise that poached player.
Lebonge fakes the, oh wow, well fielded by Seal with just the one hand. That's Shapiro on disc, dumps back. Tulchin. It's got Lebonge standing in the open side. And that's a nice break. Oh, and just an unfortunate error. There may be a call on the perhaps acknowledging that it was his error, or who knows. That's Goliard, big fake, and that's an offhand backhand that's going to be caught by Mallet and immediately put, and that is a goal for Goliard, who's been so instrumental in this point.
It really feels like Goliard is the talisman.
Notifications every time we go live. Do hit that bell icon to receive a notification. So we've got man down on offense. Colin Smith, nice shot to Schaff on the sideline, but there is a pit call. Oh, on someone from their own team, causing the obstruction. Anyway, got Lacrosse and a deep cut. It's going to be a floater. Oh, a little bit of bumping. But Stewart, running up behind, reads it, manages to avoid the collision between the other two players. Man down, possibly keeping their composure a little bit more than the Jets are, and that's going to roll out of bounds. So Boileau will walk it up to the front of the teammate. So important having that sideline presence.
Just knowing that your teammates have got your back.
Very nice lateral movement from the Jets once again. Oh, and that's a really unfortunate drop from Boileau, just a bit behind him, couldn't quite change direction fast enough.
Yeah, he made an acrobatic attempt at it, but the throw was just off target, and there wasn't much Boileau could do with it.
So we've got Seal now with a high release IO, and we've got two diving man down players, but it's just...
Sorry, Ali.
That's quite all right, Benji.
It's a shame, because if that worked, it would have looked like a genius decision.
So we've got Goliard to Mallet. Boileau to Goliard once more, and there's a deep cut. Doesn't quite fancy it, dumps off. And that's a very nice shot through the middle, despite what Iwasco warned earlier. Again, I do love this dump swing, and that is well towed by Mallet, who spikes the disc onto the floor. You've got to be happy with that one as a Jets.
Great. It's just phenomenal shape.
Yeah, full stop. These guys are fit. Oh, that's not going to come back. So a bit of discussion, but Pletcher is going to have the disc tucked in, just under halfway up the pitch. Oh, and it's an unfortunate missed throw. Lacrosse diving to try and save it, but just too far in front. Jets wasting no time in working the disc upfield. Goliard's looking towards the end zone. Nice cut from, I believe that's Courtil. Dumps off to Chevalier. And a throw and go. Coming back, the man down players. Oh, wow. Is that okay? Yeah, I thought as much. Forget to make the signal and you've already picked the disc up.
No comment.
So we're now at 4 apiece. This game is staying tight. As the Jets defense runs down, we've got a lot of quick handler movement from Smith and Seal. Don't think any of the other players on the team has touched the disc yet. Smith and Seal worked it up to the brick mark on their own, and they're going to continue. But a foul call and an immediate contest without any discussion. I'm not sure how I feel about that.
I think he's saying that I was firmly in my spot. You were pivoting into me.
Yeah, that's true.
That is at least the argument of him. The discussion.
And a stoppage as well. Seal, I don't think, seems to have noticed. He's just having a little, okay, that's a violation.
So again, one of those situations where it was a stoppage and someone didn't know and they kind of carried on.
The thrower and the mark having a discussion, the instinct as a frisbee player is, oh, the discussion, we ought to stop. And that's a nice dump throw, well taken down by Smith. Oh, and that beautiful IO shot. And the
yeah, actually I like it, but I'll go with that.
Apologies to any non-gamers watching.
That's a lovely shot, that. Pulling out from the Sardinian mountains in the distance.
So Jets with an opportunity to equalise under some fierce man down defence. We've got Chevalier looking upfield, looks to his dump, and that's some lovely dump movement from Bardin. Back to Chevalier. Very happy to work it between themselves, these Jets handlers. But stall count must be rising. He puts up a lovely floaty shot to Boileau.
He's so wide open.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, maybe a stumble from Lacrosse. And, oh, it looks like it was maybe a high stall situation, and Jan Courty not able to make the half time in these games to 13. That's a really nice cut set up from Kevin Reardon with the shoulder fake. Got Lacrosse looking for either Wang, also with a shoulder fake, and it looks like there's another bump on the mark, uncontested by Boileau.
Again, you can see that Lacrosse is looking for that backhand all the time.
Oh, and that's a fantastic D from Courty.
Again, he looks so much more comfortable with the backhand than he does with the forehand, and that time he got too much air under that one, and it allowed Courty to come in and bash it away.
We've got Chevalier very close to the end zone. Not a lot of movement. Some of the French players looking a little bit tired. This has been quite a long point. Chevalier not quite in. He'll walk it back to the line, just on the corner now. And that's an upline cut. Is it going to be a score? It is! That's Boileau to tie it up at 5, so we will have a half at 6.
You know what that means, don't you?
Is it a Galaxy point?
I think it's our first Galaxy point of the week.
Does it count if it's not 6-all? Oh yeah, it has to count.
Yeah, I mean, it's sudden death to take half. That's a Galaxy point in my book.
Couldn't be happier, Benji, of our chairs, and is sitting behind us, just having a little breather in the shade.
I mean, it is hot out there. It's going to be, you know, high 20s, low 30s in terms of degrees Celsius out there.
It is certainly warm. So we've got Barney, finds the Bonge. He's got a couple of upline shots. That's a very nice cut from Barney. One player in the end zone, and he puts out a floater. Bardin not anywhere, Goliard not anywhere near it, and that is half for man down.
I absolutely do not.
So, an end, in fact, it was almost if we didn't have a half, because Jets Dust on the other side, and they were on defense, so we play as if nothing had happened, even though half-time has no breaks here in these shorter games. Oh, that's a lovely upline save from Langlois, but it looks like it's going to be called out by the man-down player. It did look like he landed sort of hands first as he dove out, not able to keep his feet down. So man down, working it laterally around the pitch.
It's a real saying that for Jets, because it was a magnificent effort.
Oh, fakes the scuba.
Cheeky.
Finds Stewart. Doesn't fancy the sideline shot. Finds Pletcher. Pletcher dumps it off, and that's a nice shot through to Stewart, who didn't have anyone on him.
Oh, like cheeky little push.
Oh, there we go. And it hits him in the chest. He staggers a little bit with the force of it. But that is another score for man down.
Stay cool, calm and collected, but it's a difficult thing to manage.
And that is a very bladey pull, but it will roll out of the back of the end zone. So Bardin will walk it to the front. So poaching off the thrower for the initial look. It looks like they are matched now. Got Mallet. Oh, and he throws it just too far for Goliard. That's a short field turn, and man down, immediately looking to capitalise.
Miscommunication. I was trying to think of it. Oh, into the end zone for the goal for Reardon. I was going to say he threw the disc down the Jubilee line, and Goliard went down the Bakerloo. And then I worked out, no, that doesn't work for Paris and all else at the metro system. So
Jets looking to maybe make another spectacular play and galvanise themselves into getting a bit of a derail. He's got some nice give and go with the handlers. Man down once again, poaching off that dump. So going to his knees. Nice shot through the middle to Courty. And there's a pit call from Balouot.
Mate, but Pletcher was there instead.
So Courtil. Nice little shot to Chevalier. He thinks about the dump and then thinks again. And there's another pick up field. Not sure it affected that particular dump throw. Langlois trying to get free up the line, isn't able. Is it going to hang? It is not.
very nearly to defense there from Carol Wang, because he was shuttling and squirreling back and forth, really mirroring that off-handler. Excellent work.
And that's so hard to do on beach when changes of direction are that much harder because you don't have that same push-off in the sand. So man down, that's a nice inside shot to Pletcher. He's got a deep cut. I think there's just too many players in the way. Oh, and that just sneaks past the hand of Boileau.
Takes advantage of the face mask. Face mask? Face mask. Clearly we've been in COVID times.
Gosh, that disc looked like it barely rotated, but Fletcher managed to scoop it off near the floor. That's Wang on just the edge of the end zone. He's got a couple of streaking man-down players, and just a quick pop off to Kevin Reardon. Not enough communication from the downfield about where the defense should be, but it looks like there may be a call.
Yeah, the deep put from Pletcher.
That's excellent changes of direction. Oh, wow. Caught on the second attempt by Kevin Reardon with the big fake. He looks at Wang, not fancying it. Pletcher again. Finds Reardon. Reardon looking into the end zone. Oh, puts up a high one, but it's taken down. And Jets are back on offense.
It's one of those ones that is so frustrating because it seems to, as soon as it gets to you, it pops up, and then as soon as it gets past you, it pops down again.
Oh no, and that's just been juggled out of the hands by Boileau. This is turning into a really long point in this sun. And there's Wang. Jets just maybe not having the gas left to play as hard a defense on this point as they otherwise could have. Another huge pull from Colin Smith, which this time will not roll out of the end zone. Jets wasting no time.
You beauty.
Was a really lovely pull. So we hear the clown horn for 5 minutes left. Goliard thinks about the hammer. Opts for a slightly safer give and go instead. He's got a dump cut from Levena, but not a fan. It looks like there may have been a little bit of a bump. Looking around, making sure everything's okay. Checks the disc in as the mark isn't quite close enough to do it. Oh, and that's a nice break around the outstretched arm of Lebonge. Bardin immediately swinging to Planchin. Oh, and that's just behind the outstretched arm of Goliard. So it's another relatively short field turn for man down, looking towards the end zone now. Scott Lacrosse, but lasers it through, and it's another devastating IO score. Jets can't be very happy with that one.
Just throwaways.
And we are seeing some frustration definitely creeping into the faces and voices of the Jets side, which is not going to help you necessarily make those decisions or keep that focus for those throws. Oh, lovely up line. So free. And he, oh, I thought he was going to rip one upfield. It looks like Mallet has the disc. Maybe a bit of a discussion about whether or not he was in.
Made a bit of a meal of the catch regardless.
I think he may have been straddling the line.
I think he, ooh, did he drop? I don't know. Either way, it's a turnover.
So got one player in the end zone, waiting for the others to come forward. He's got Pletcher. Swings round, and a wide open, that's not Lebonge, who is that?
That is Schwartz.
That is Schwartz, thank you. Claps for the disc, and then Clapp catches it.
Seeing Barney for the first time in since I think in the second half. Seeing Owasco for the first time all game as well. So, you know, utilising the full depth of their roster here, man down.
Perhaps, yeah, players who are feeling a little bit achy in the legs, wanting to come on for what could be the last point. Owasco certainly looks very fresh, so chasing after the disc. We've got Goliard. Oh, he wants the deep shot, but Reardon comes round to prevent it. Low hands from Reardon. And that's a throw that looks like, and there's another shrug from Loic Langlois, maybe admitting he could have got it, but just wasn't expecting it to come in at that speed. So it's a short field turn, and that is another score just before the horn goes. So it will be a game to 13, I mean, no matter what.
Yeah, it's so easy when your heads drop. It can be so difficult to pick them back up again. especially no, they're 12-5 down. But then having said that, they were 12-6 down in their previous game. They got 4 on the bounce to put Borderline under pressure. They couldn't complete the comeback there, but we know that they have a break train in them.
And perhaps it was only 1 and they've used it already. I hope not. Wow, that is a big throw. Oh, it just glides over the fingertips. I think there was a bit of a forcing the misread from Kevin Reardon. Any deep throws. Oh, fakes the scuba, sells the mark enough to get the disc off. Fakes the shot through the middle. And it's a very tight cup. And is that a hand? Well, something's happened. Maybe a bit of discussion about whether or not the disc was up.
Sort of zone look. It's the right throw. You know, you've got to play a post in space. You just need to be able to break the mark effectively, which you see that they can do.
Oh, and there's the scuba. Very cheeky no-look scuba. The
Love
cup
it.
closes in again. I think he's potentially looking for a long shot. Finds Goldsmith. Goldsmith with 3 Jets players. And again, I think that was almost a hand block. I heard a sort of tapping noise. The cup catches up. Being told to swing it by his team, fakes the hammer, finds a nice inside shot to Stewart instead. Zone still doing bits, but an IO shot goes out. These IOs from this man-down team having been absolutely instrumental in many of their goals. And it's just a quick pass into the end zone. Nothing fancy, nothing flashy. And man down are into the semis.
Well, that was a game of 2 halves. Do you remember when it was 6-5 Galaxy, when it was 5-all Galaxy point?
I do remember.
Man down put it in, and then in the second half, 7 in a row, did not even concede for a 13-5 victory. Oh, yeah, I doubt you will see a better half of Ultimate All Tournament than we did there for Man down.
We are a group of Ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, Ultimate TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
fund
our work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
Ulti.TV